Watch this. No way!
Hello and welcome back to the Cookie Jar Golf Podcast. I am Tom Mills and today I'm joined by Sam Williams.
Hello.
Bruce Fitzpatrick.
Hello.
Don't forget, as always, you can contact us on @CookieJarGolf on Instagram, Twitter or Facebook. And we've just gone through a little bit of a logo revamp. So get in touch, let us know what you think. It's always good to get your feedback. Our streak of amazing guests continue today as we're joined by Brendan Lawlor. Brendan is currently in the top 5 disability golfers in the world. He's had high-profile wins on the EDGA Tour, as I'm sure we'll dive into. He has played his whole life with Ellis Van Creveld syndrome, which is a bone growth disorder. Brendan has collected victories in the German Disabled Open, the G-Golf Knockout, and the EDGA Scottish Open. Brendan also became the first disability golfer to compete in a European Challenge Tour event, which was the ISPS Handa World Invitational at Galgorm Spa and Golf Resort in 2019. We're really looking forward to chewing through some great chat with him. It's Brendan Lawlor. Brendan, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me on, guys. Thank you.
Oh, no, it's our pleasure. So we usually like to start these podcasts, Brendan, with getting to know you a little bit. So tell us a little bit about your golf journey and how you've got to where you are.
Yeah, so basically, I actually didn't start golf till I was about 16 years old. I played a game called pitch and putt, which is the shorter version of golf, all par threes. I think if you talk to any Irishman, that's how to really start with golf. Just to hold in your short game, and it's cheaper as well. You can join for cheap. You can play with your friends. It's not long. It only takes an hour to get around as well. So it was a place where my parents could go to work and just drop me to the pitch and putt course for the day and hone in my skills that way. So spent years at that. Started that when I was probably 4 to 15. And then I started playing golf. And I think I got addicted to trying to make myself better and better and just fell in love with the game. And at around 17, I was starting to make the junior panels. And then at 18, I was starting to make the senior panels. So I knew I wasn't bad at the game. And then I found disability golf then in 2018, in November 2018, and it's the best road I ever went down. It's opened some massive opportunities that I never thought would happen. It's just been truly incredible.
So I imagine your short game is absolutely smoking then if you've been brought up on pitch and putt.
Yeah, it is. It's probably gotten worse since I stopped because you don't practice as much. The more you play, the more greens you start to hit, the less you rely on your short game. So I was actually thinking of going back into lockdown, but it wasn't open, so I was quite mad about that.
Are there many courses out there, Brendan, with pitch and putt? Because it's not, over in England, there's not actually that many, really. It's quite sort of rare you see it. I agree. Yeah. It's a great school for golf. Is there quite a bit of it in Ireland? Yeah,
there's a lot of it in Ireland. I live in a small county called County Louth. It's, you know what Shane Larry won his Irish Open in Baltray?
Yeah, where he beat Robert Rock in the playoff.
Yeah, so I live about 20 minutes from there. And within a 20-minute, half an hour radius, I'd say there's about 14 pitch putt courses.
No way.
So loads of them.
And I bet there's some great ones out there. I bet there must be some amazing kind of views and different topography and everything.
Exactly, and it's a game where you're only allowed one wedge, so you have 54 degree, 56 degree, and a putter. So you could find yourself in difficulties and you have to play that shot with the one club. So that's what I learned most about pitch and putt. I carried a 54 degree in my bag up till last year with no other loft. Didn't have a 58, didn't have a 60, not a 52. I played everything with the 54 degree wedge. It was a bit like a Seve moment.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a bit like Seve where you've only got one stick and you just have to make kind of every shot work, right?
Yeah. No, but it was great for just teaching you how to do things that you wouldn't thought you'd be able to do at one club and hit flop shots with it, hit low cut, whatever you want, you can do with it.
I like to go past the pitch and putts nearby and watch people with their full tour bag with 14 clubs. That's
yeah. But as you say, it's pitch and putt's a far more accessible version of the game, isn't it? It's obviously particularly great for juniors. It takes a lot less time. Were there kind of many pitch and putt tournaments when you were growing up that you could kind of play in? Is there a competitive element to it as well?
Yeah, so there was a lot of scratch cups. So the same as golf, you'd have a scratch cup maybe every second week. And then you had the majors. Majors would be like the All-Irelands, the Leinsters, see how you were in your region. And then you had the team events. So you can play with Louth, you can play with Ireland. So, but it was a dying game, to be honest. Like, a lot of older people played it. It was more of a retirement game, and not many young people got into it. But at the highest level, it was very, very competitive. Like, people would go around. I won my All-Ireland one year. I won it in Rock Lodge in Cork. And I shot 1 under first round and 11 under second round. So you could really go low on the courses.
Hang on. 11 under. So that was that. And they're all par threes?
All par threes. So it's 54, par 54. So I shot, a 43.
Wow.
Yeah, 43.
We're never having a chipping contest. But you might be able to help me clear up some of the mental clutter that's in my game.
No, but if you played this game every day, you could go low. Like, you could really learn how to play it. So it's a good game, really enjoyable.
And those holes, are they ranging from sort of 50 to just short of 100 yards, somewhere around there? Not
even that far. So the range from about 30 yards to 70 yards would be your furthest hole. So pitch putt works in meters, so 70 meters, which is probably 78 yards or 77 yards or something.
Incredible.
No, it was cool.
And then what was the route into playing the sort of full game? Is it something you thought about when you were growing up, or when you were 16 did you just decide, right, I've kind of accomplished all that I want to in the pitch and putt side of things, and I want to start hitting some drivers and hitting some long irons and that kind of thing?
Yeah, so my granddad had a major influence on me to sort of join golf, because I was always that wee bit smaller in stature. I had a condition called Ellis Van Creveld, which shorter limbs, shorter stature, which I never had the power to play. So it wasn't a game I was sort of forced into, because I probably thought I wouldn't succeed at it because I didn't have the power. You need to be strong. You need to hit the ball far in golf. So at 15, 16, 17, I was filling out, started to go to the gym a wee bit more. Started to get a wee bit stronger, and then also my friends were moving on to golf too. So the way my parents brought me up, they never treated me any differently. They let me grow up in the game, they let me grow up in school with the same friends, and I think that's why I'm here today, because I never taught myself any different, or they never treated me any different either, which was quite incredible. But no, I started golf then at 16. Obviously, it's an expensive sport to play. It was hard to get into golf clubs at the time. I think we were in the boom when I was looking to join, so the demand for getting into clubs was very small. But I knew someone in a place called RD Golf Club, so they got me in, started me on their junior panels, and I just took off from there. It was just, as I said, I fell in love with the game, as anyone does at a young age, and loved it. Just wanted to make myself better every day.
And you got involved with the Darren Clark Academy, didn't you?
When I finished, I done my leaving cert in, I don't know what year it was, 2016 or something. And when you're in a loop, you don't know what to do or what's next. I was at that stage in my life where, what the feck am I going to do now? I hadn't a clue. So my Auntie Anne was researching things. I was just going to do like a business course in college or something. And I wasn't that bright at school. I just got by. I didn't have massive interest in it. And she said, would you go to the Darren Clark Golf School? And then I researched it, and it said, it's greenkeeping. And I said, what is she thinking I'm going to do greenkeeping for? I said, I love playing golf. We don't want to do greens. But then there was another aspect side to it. There was the performance side. And went there for 2 years, made some of the best friends I could ever make, and enjoyed it so much. It was unbelievable 2 years.
And what sort of things did they have you doing there then when it comes to the performance side of things?
So it was half education, half school, or half education, half golf. So Monday, Tuesday, you'd be full academics from 9 to 3. And then you could go to the range and the golf and to the practice greens after that and do your homework. And then from Wednesday to Friday, that's when you're being coached. You play around the golf. You're in like just 18, 19 lads practicing. It was great crack.
And was Darren quite involved with that, or did he pop across much?
No, he wasn't really involved at all. He took his name off it the year after, so it was it was a sort of a sideshow for him. I think, I don't know, but I have a lot of respect for Darren. It didn't matter. He didn't come to see us because obviously he's a lot more to worry about than a golf school with his golf game, and there's so much things he has to focus on himself. So the year before, I think he came down to meet a few of the guys in his big fancy BMW, but no, he wasn't that much involved. But it was attached to the Lee Westwood School as well in America. So we went on a trip with them every year. Went to Irish Opens, went to British Masters, all that sort of stuff. So it brought me places as well that I never thought I'd go.
So Brendan, you're playing golf now, kind of world top 5 in kind of your peer group, and but going back to then, you were presumably in a peer group of kind of, for want of a better term, like fully abled golfers, I guess, people that weren't kind of, didn't have the same challenges that maybe you had physically. How did that kind of work out in practice? Did you feel like that held you back, or did you actually kind of almost schooling them from 60 yards and in? Did that kind of give you the confidence you needed to kind of kick on and think, do you know what, I can do this professionally?
Yeah, so when I was playing, I played like amateur level golf. I was off 1-2 scratch.
Wow.
And to be honest, it worked out beneficial for me, because people would see me coming up to the tee and they'd be clapping their hands, oh, this is an easy game, we have this in the bag. And then they'd be bet on 16, they'd be like, what the fuck's happening now? That wasn't meant to happen, to be saying. But no, I always made it work to my benefit. Like, if you're off one and you're playing against someone off one, it doesn't matter if you have a disability or non-disability, you're a good golfer. Yeah. So I sort of looked at it that way. I said, if he's playing off the same as me, or he's a few shots better than me, I can take him, I can beat him. So you need to believe you can beat anyone at that level too. And I think that stood to me coming into the disability golf category, because if you know yourself that you can play against scratch golfers or +1 golfers, these disability golfers are very good, but it's obviously not the level that top amateur level is in Ireland or in England, wherever it is. So because I knew I could play at that level and play against my peer group that played off really low figures, it did stand to me.
And how did you come across disability golf as a area that you could pursue?
My Auntie Anne found it. She's always searching the web and looking for different things, and it actually popped up. And she said it to my mother. She said, "Would Brendan ever consider playing disability golf?" And Mum actually, because I was living such a normal life, she didn't want to insult me by asking me to do it. And then one day she said, "Yeah, sure, I'll ask him, see what the crack is." So Mum said, "Brendan, would you ever consider doing disability golf?" I said, "Yeah, I'll give it a go. Like, it's always good to experience different things." So I went, absolutely loved it. First event, I saw it could have been a niche where I could excel at. And I just went down that road, and it was unbelievable ever since.
And when was that you started playing? Sorry, Brendan, what year would that have been? Was that about 2017, 2018?
Yeah, about 2018. So my first event was in November in Portugal in 2018.
Okay.
And, that was at Troya, wasn't it? Was that Troya golf course?
No, that was the one after. This was the Algarve. So it was in the Algarve Trophy or something.
Okay.
And very first event, not really knowing how good people were or what the standard was, I came fourth in that event and I didn't play my best stuff. So I sort of said to myself, I really and truly went in underestimating the ability of disability golfers. And I think that's why I didn't really excel in my first event. I literally went in saying, "Oh, this is going to be a breeze." And it was a complete wrong way of thinking of it, because these golfers you'd be amazed what they can do.
I suppose it's quite complex, isn't it? Because having a disability is, that word in itself is such an enormously large spectrum and covers grand amount of things. How does that play out in terms of golf? Does it complicate matters, or does it just you all just get on with it?
It is tough because there's so many categories, and what we're trying to do, our final goal at the minute is trying to get into the Paralympics. So that's the end result for disability golf. And the problem with the Paralympics is you can't be giving out 20 medals for 20 different categories of disability. So what the European Tour are doing now, they're trying their best to make a world tour with the best, say, 20 golfers with a disability to play on a level playing field. And then that's when the numbers start coming in. Keith Ellie has been doing absolute wonders for it, promoting it, giving us the chances to play on the world stage. And you should see the amount of golfers coming out of the woodworks now wanting to play, and from different countries. You wouldn't believe it. It's mental.
I suppose that's partly, a large part of your role right now, I'm guessing, is, being an ambassador for that and trying to bring people into the sport who might not have otherwise. Like a lot of people, you'd be an absolute hero, and there'd be a lot of people in other countries that are huge ambassadors for disability golf, right? So I suppose there's a large part in kind of growing and bringing people into the game, and places like the Paralympics are kind of huge stages to get to do that on, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like we're begging out for more players at the minute, because the quicker we get more players in, the quicker, well, the likes of disability golf is like we're going to events where we can't win money and it's costing us a lot of money to go to. So it'd be nice one day sort of to make a living through disability golf and having people recognise that we have talents, and this could be like a market for us to play and to make a wage and sort of to support a family or whatever you want to do. And that's what Modest Golf are helping me out with now. They're giving me the dream to travel the world and afford events that I never thought I'd be able to go to.
So how did that opportunity with Modest Golf arise then, Brendan?
Yeah, so I had an interview with Irish Golf Magazine with a guy called Peter Finnan. And he does wonders for Irish golfers. He does articles every week and what just updates, say, about Lowry or Harrington, Paul Dunn, doesn't matter who it is. And had a full interview. I never really sat down and told him my full story. And it was just, say, the Scottish Open, and they heard stuff about it and they put it in the magazine. But I finally sat down with them and had a full-scale conversation of what I do, what I represent, and all that sort of stuff. So I think Peter took inspiration from the story and sort of knew I needed that extra step to sort of move forward. And he said, you know what, I'm going to give Mark McDonald a ring for Modest Golf. Did you ever hear of him? I said, I knew Niall was over a management company, but I didn't really look much into it. So Peter said, right, I'll ring Mark tonight, see what the crack is for you. I think they might have a major interest in you, because they do. Modest are doing things for ladies golf, men's golf. They're changing the game of management teams. So Peter rang Mark that night, rang me back and said, right, you have a meeting with Mark tomorrow in Belfast. So I think, Jesus, that's lovely. Happy days. So I drove up to Belfast, met Mark, had a chat, had the crack. You know Mark yourself. He's good fun. He's calm. He's cool. Mm-hmm. So just I think we had a coffee or something. Just chatted for an hour. Told him what I did, and we just kept in touch for the last about 3 months after. And then I went over to the British Masters and signed a contract. It was he told me that he could change sort of my life with sponsorships and help me out with events, and that really drove me to turn pro. Because as an amateur in Ireland, you can't earn money through sponsors if you're an amateur. So it's a bit of a nightmare. And there was nothing really holding me back as an amateur. I'd done what I wanted to do. I played with the teams, and I just thought it was the next step I needed to push on in what I love to do.
And I think when you look at, Modest and, the involvement with things like ISPS Handa, and you look at the event in Australia, I think you played in that, didn't you, Brendan? It's a completely different and a progressive approach to it, which, across disability golf, also the ladies game, it's exactly what the sport's kind of crying out for, I think, right now. Exactly.
Like, people love seeing their McIlroys and their Dustin Johnsons hitting at 350, but they might want to see something different, maybe people with one leg hitting at 300 yards, or people shorter in stature hitting at 280 yards. It's something like, we're not shabby golfers. People are starting to realise that we're keeping up with the pros. Not obviously shooting 6-7 under, but we're not holding the game up. It's something different people love to see, and it's just, I think it's the right fit at the minute.
I think you can probably take Rory to school around the pitch and putt. I think that 43 will probably put you in pretty good stead there.
I give it a go, all right.
So, and I mean, where do you see that going then? Because I suppose you've got a couple of different avenues, haven't you, with where the sport goes and kind of growing that, and partly through the Paralympics, but then also looking at the professional tour. How does that? Are there multiple different tours around the world, or is it now kind of concentrated efforts and trying to piggyback onto larger global events like the Australian Open? What are the big sort of outlets for it?
The big outlets are like we played 2 Rolex Series events this year. We played Scotland and Dubai, which was a massive step forward. So what we wanted to do, we wanted to get the foot in the door first, try get 1 or 2 events in. So we had 3 this year. We had Dubai, Scotland, and then we had Australia at the end of the year, which isn't run by European Tour, but it's a sanctioned event. So we wanted to get 3 in this year, maybe 5 in the following year, 6 in the following year. So it's going to be like a domino effect. And then, obviously, the final straw is having a disability tour, of maybe having a small prize fund running alongside the European Tour. So it was really looking good until this COVID happened, because you know yourself, like the European Tour is going to take a while to get going again, and sponsors are going to it's going to be hard to get full sponsors in, and there's going to be a few cuts and stuff. But I think it can't be ignored. I think it's so inspirational, and it's something people are enjoying and want to see. So I don't think it can be ignored anymore.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. As you say, although the coronavirus has obviously brought the professional game to a bit of a halt at the moment.
Yeah.
In a way, it seems like golf might be one of the sports that's fortunate enough to get back out there, ahead of some of the others.
Yeah.
And as Sam was saying there, I think the inclusion of disability golf and more attention being paid to the ladies' game and these co-sanctioned events is exactly what the game needs to sort of throw off that reputation of it being a kind of stuffy game of elitist clubs, and actually the more people can see how inclusive it is and how many opportunities out there, then it's just going to do wonders for the sport as a whole, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. Like EGA, European Disabled Golf Association, what I love about them is there's so many categories they support. Like they support wheelchair golf, they support like net, gross, Stapleford. So it entices people to join the game because there's so many categories that they can climb the ranks in, if you know what I mean. There's the elite side. If you want to play events on the European Tour, you're going to try and get your game good enough to make it, to keep your ranking up, so you can play them events every week or every few weeks.
I'm interested to know how do you get your kind of exemption and your status then? So at what point do you tip into that elite status that you sit in at the moment and allow you to kind of compete on the biggest stage?
Yeah, so EDGA run about 15 sanctioned events a year. So the Disabled Golf Association run 15 events in Europe, some in America as well. So as you are going to them under your own pocket, so you need to really pick and choose what events you need to go to. So I picked around 4 events a year to keep my ranking high enough that I get the big opportunities on the European Tour. So at the minute, that's our incentive, really, to keep playing the disability events so you can get the massive events on tour. And it's incredible. Like, I think that's such a good thing to work towards, because it brings sponsors in. It's good for your management teams. You need to sort of keep that top ranking to benefit who everyone is helping around you. So that's what really inspires me to keep playing.
And last year you played in the ISPS Handa World Invitational, didn't you? How was that experience?
Oh, that was unbelievable. It was like you're mixing with the pros. Like I played a practice round with Shane Larry and Paul Dunn that week, which was really incredible.
Wow.
And you wouldn't believe how accepting pros are of disability golfers. Like I also played a practice round with Robert Allenby in Australia this year. They just ask you to join. Like that's what I mean about the acceptance. They realise you're good players and they just want to help you, which is incredible. But the experience at the World Cup of Golf was amazing. It internationals against Australians in between groups. We got the crowds, we got the atmosphere, and they really made us feel important as well, which was deadly.
I was gonna say, how do they how does that tournament work in terms of structure and in the inclusion of disability golfers?
So at the ISPS Hand, the World Invitational, we were in between groups, same as the Australian Open. So I think Matt Kuchar was playing behind me or something, and Matt Kuchar's slow on a good day, so I wasn't too bad.
Hope you didn't drop any money.
I wasn't worrying too much, but no, it's just like that. That's added pressure too. Like when you have them big guys playing behind you, you sort of do want to speed up, and you don't want to make a show of yourself either. But as I said, like it's still a trial run. It's still fresh, so we're still finding new ways to make it better, and we're gonna just experience things every time.
What was the pressure like the first time you teed it up with, surrounded by the pros? Is that just insane?
Yeah, like I felt, where was the most pressure? Probably that World Invitational. It was a team event. It wasn't individual, but it was a surreal moment. Like there's thousands watching you off the tee, and you just don't want to scuff it or do something bad. But there's two ways you can take pressure. You can either succeed with it or fold. And I think the reason that the 10 disability golfers are playing on the European Tour events is because they can deal with the pressure, they can deal with the crowds, and they take it in, they feed off it. And that's the good thing about the top pros as well. They feed off the crowd, they feed off, just love doing what they're doing and being there and winning really entirely.
And you've now got an involvement with ISPS Hander. You're one of their ambassadors, is that right?
Yeah, I was asked to be an ambassador this year, and what they represent in the power of sport is truly incredible, and not just for golf, but for all disability sports, professional sports. They support so much, and I had the honour to meet Dr. Handa this year, and he's just an incredible guy.
Brendan, you mentioned that you've obviously travelled around and played a lot of golf all over the place with the European, with the disability tour. You mentioned Australia, the Middle East, and perhaps America as well. Is there anything that strikes you in terms of different approaches that these different national golf federations have towards the game? Are there kind of certain practices you think which stand Ireland or even European disability golf in good stead, or are there other things that you think other countries do particularly well? Is there much variation in approach?
Yeah, like it's a lot of countries are doing it there's a lot of sides of disability golf. You have the mental side, which is so important for people that maybe are struggling with mental health to get out into the game, to make friends. And also there's the side of the elitism where you want to go to tournaments, you want to win, you're sort of taking it that wee bit more serious. And to be honest, I think with Edga, I think events need to become a little bit more professional. There's people, sometimes you find people shouting on greens, cheering. I just think that's a wee bit, if we want the sport to grow, we don't want to look at like it's a comedy show or a circus. We're there because we're good golfers. We're not there, like, you need to still respect the etiquette of the game. And I think that's what we need to start doing more of in Edga. Start realising how big this game's getting and promote it to the best we can, so we have every chance of getting into massive events in the future.
And I think that will happen when it, particularly with the approach of, those co-sanctioned events and sort of playing side by side. I think therefore you see a bit of a contrast then in people playing across the same golf course, and the talent and the ability speaks for itself, which is, I think that's what everyone wants, right? Particularly yourself there. It's about letting the golf speak for itself in terms of its own quality. Brendan, I'm really interested in a kind of, I suppose, last 12 months has been I think a really good one for Irish golf in general. Obviously, Shane Lowry's kind of open win at Portrush. Have you seen, on the ground in Ireland and kind of local golf courses, have you seen much of a kind of boom off the back of that? Is there? Yeah,
there's a huge lift. Like, I don't know if you were in Portrush that day, but I was there watching Shane come in, and I think it was like a Tiger moment. When Tiger was in his prime, all the crowds following him, it reminded me of the buzz Tiger used to bring the crowds to golf, and it just had that added bit of, it was just unbelievable because it was in Ireland as well.
Yeah, I think it certainly felt like a huge moment for Irish golf. And I mean, Shane played absolutely out of his boots, didn't he?
Yeah.
Watching him on that last day, like he was near enough untouchable, wasn't he? I'm sure
Exactly.
I saw photos online of was he still in his golf shoes? I think at about 2:00 in the morning
I
in a bar
know.
or something.
I was
like
going to
that.
go up to Dublin with the lads. We were in Belfast that day at Port Rush, watching the whole day. And when we seen him won, I wasn't drinking during the day, and I drove up. I said, lads, will we go up to Dublin? Just for the crack, it'd be some laugh. But we didn't go up in the end. It would have been too hard to get into the pubs and stuff. But no, I think everyone is feeding off that win, it was incredible for Irish golf. It was a great moment. I met his parents after it actually. Ireland have like an appreciation night for golfers that had success that year, and I was sitting with Shane's mother and father, and Shane obviously got an award that night himself but couldn't be there, and everyone it was just a buzz in that room that night because of what he done, and it was truly incredible.
What is it, do you think, that about, I mean, Ireland in itself punches so far above its weight in terms of delivering top quality golfers. What do you think it is about Ireland that just produces so many great golfers?
There's something in the water, isn't there? No, I think because there's such a various different of courses. You have your links golf, you have your parkland golf, and as amateur golfers in Ireland, you're playing all types of courses. You're getting your links, and especially like Opens and all. We have a lot of success in Opens, and that's all links golf. And I don't really know. We have a really good system as well, bringing up like they treat their elite golfers really, really well in Ireland. Their panels are fantastic. Their coaches are fantastic. Like Neil, ever hear Neil Manship, Shane Larry's coach? He
I've heard no, yeah.
He coaches all the underage panels and are probably given the approaches he's given to Shane. He's doing the same effect on them, and we are supplying some really, really good players at the minute.
I mean, we spoke with. It seems to come up in almost too many of our podcasts, but Tom Coyne, who wrote a course called Ireland, obviously walked the perimeter of Ireland, playing pretty much every links golf course in his way. And the big thing you get from the book is a huge sense of, I suppose, community golf. And there's, I don't even think, the UK is too far off the mark, but I think Ireland's even further ahead in terms of making it really, really accessible and breaking down barriers for people to go and play at a young age. Very cheap, great quality golf where people can enjoy it kind of on their terms, really. So I suppose that probably helps to a certain extent, right?
Yeah, exactly. And there's so many. We're spoiled for beautiful courses in Ireland as well. Like you have the likes of your Portmarnocks, your Baltrays, where membership is slightly dearer. But you also have beautiful courses like Sea Point's right beside Baltray. You have Dundalk Golf Club, which memberships are so much cheaper, and you're still playing a top quality course, and it's so well maintained. I think that's very important too. It has to be accessible for young people coming in because it's a hard game to afford to play at a young age.
If you were approached by somebody saying, "I'm going to do a little holiday over to Ireland in your area and even beyond," where would you be saying, right, you got to hit this track? What courses do you think are the ones that are an absolute must if you head over your way?
Oh, Lahinch is definitely a must. And there's lovely. Did you ever hear of the Ring of Kerry?
Yeah, I've been there when I was very young. Young, I went to the Ring of Kerry.
There's like a massive stretch there. You have like the Ring of Kerry, you have Tralee, Kinsale, all them unbelievable courses. You can just drive for an hour and play probably 7 or 8 unbelievable courses. So that's
Tralee's
a good one too.
Superb, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tralee's great.
I actually never played Tralee, but that's definitely on the bucket list.
And obviously you're traveling all around the world at the moment. Are you managing to maintain a membership and stay somewhere?
Yeah, so the Dundalk Golf Club are very good to me. When disability golf was just starting as well, they helped me out with events. They used to pay for like half my events for travel, and which was incredible. So when I turned professional, they basically said you have full access to the course. You can come and go as you please, which was really good of them as well. And it's nice to have that. You need a base to go to. You need that sort of thing. I do a lot of practice in Carton House as well. Carton House have seen me as like an Irish panel member and have given me access to all that sort of stuff as well. So that's that's what I mean about acceptance in disability golf. It's fantastic in Ireland. They've really accepted me and are doing everything to improve me game and all that sort of stuff.
I think I read somewhere, when you're out playing tour events, is it true you got your old man on the bag?
I do, yeah. Dad's in the bag. We've
Stressful every now and again, isn't it?
oh, it can be tough at times, but it's so great. It's great to have him there as well. Like sometimes the top comes off the hat. Sometimes I get a wee bit angry, and he's a good man to calm me down and just bring me back to the moment. And I think that's important as a caddy. You need someone to bring you back into the moment, just to get you to relax and calm down and all that sort of stuff. But no, we've a pretty good success rate so far. I think we have 4 or 5 events won. Going well, not too bad. So he'll be there for another few years, hopefully.
Yeah, get awkward when you sack him.
I know, like I was trying to sack him this year and I couldn't do it. But no, I wouldn't do that. But we have a family business as well. So we have that family business now 20 years. So he sort of built it up in a position to take a bit of time off, and he has staff there to look after as well. So it's a nice sort of pastime for him to just let his hair down and chill out and experience different countries as well. So it's quite nice.
Obviously, we talked about golf getting part of the Paralympics. Is that something you think is on the near horizon?
Yeah, like you've seen in like Olympics and Paralympics, if tennis come into the Olympics, it's usually a domino effect, and tennis will be in the Paralympics. But golf, it's a tough one, because we don't have enough players at a high enough level to sort of have a competitive Paralympics, if you know what I mean. Like, we were sitting down with organisers. I was talking to the CEO of the European Disabled Golf Association, and I was saying to him, there's going to be stronger teams. That's just reality. It's life. Like, America are stronger than, say, or Ireland are stronger than France. France are stronger than Spain. You're going to have stronger teams in professional golf, never mind disability golf. So it just has to happen, and just see how it goes. It has to be right. I think it's a tough one to get right.
And sort of beyond the Olympics, do you set tangible targets for a year or is it very sort of input driven? Or if you do have targets, what are you planning on wanting to achieve this year?
This year I want to get to number 1 in the world. I've got to number 2 before. It's the ranking systems are done by the RNA, which is great. It's a fair system, and the only problem with the system is if a lot of players aren't going to tournaments because they're hard to afford. Like, I think I have 18 rounds. I'm ranked number 4. I have 18 rounds, but number 1 is 9 rounds. So his divider is much lower than mine. So if I didn't play for a year and number 1 played 9 times and finished 2nd and 3rd, me and him could swap places, if you know what I mean. It's just it's hard to get your head around it. But I don't focus too much on world ranking. I just want to try and win as much as I can, promote the game as much as I can, get more people into it. And then obviously a major goal was to make a living through golf, and I'm finally doing that now, which is incredible.
And when the golf in whatever form it happens comes back to the tour, what kind of cool events have you got lined up for this year?
Well, I was meant to be playing golf sixes today. Actually, today. Man. So that was a pain, and that was a bit of a pain. It was the first time disability golfers were accepted into it. So we were going to put into a pool of 4 and try and qualify under the same exemptions as European Tour players. So that would have been cool. But it's hard to know what's in the pipeline now for this year. We're going to hopefully we'll have 2 Rolex events to play in. If the Scottish Open, it was postponed, but hopefully it'll be on near the end of the year, and then hopefully Dubai again, and then Australia. So we probably have 3 events this year, which we probably thought we'd have more, but what can you do?
How difficult has that been for you personally, having to deal with this mentally, in terms of, you're lined up for an things look like they're really on the ascendancy, and you're lined up for a great year of golf, and then the virus hits. How difficult is that to deal with?
I think it is tough. It's hard, but I think everyone has their own difficulties at the minute with it, and we just have to accept what's done. Like I think because disability golf, where we had got it to, and we got it to such a strong level, it can't be ignored anymore. I think it's going to push on. It mightn't be until next year till it pushes on, but it's going to push on at some stage. So you just have to keep positive, keep doing what you're doing, and just keep promoting it where you can promote it.
And you've got age on your side as well, haven't you? You're very young. You've got, you're going to, with with a bit of luck, you're going to live through what's going to be a massive growth in the sport as well, and play right through the years of that. So I think it'd be an interesting journey. Yeah,
I'm very lucky. I'm coming in at this time. I think disability golf is about for years, maybe 15, 16 years. The organisation is set up, and I'm very lucky. I've just come in now the last 2 years, and it's taken some unbelievable strides, and it's unbelievable to see. Like, I think it deserves every bit of publicity it gets, and I can't wait to drive it more. It's something I'm proud to be a part of. I'm proud to be a part of it as well. So it's good.
Well, yeah, I mean, you've absolutely done some fantastic work promoting the sport, and you've been extraordinarily generous with your time. So thanks so much for coming on the podcast, Brendan.
No problem.
We wish you all the best and every success when the tour does get going again.
Yeah, hopefully we'll have Dubai at the end of the year. We had it last year, so if we can get that at the end of the year, that'll be one to look forward to. So that's the plan.
And a bit of winter sun as well.
Exactly. You can't beat a bit of sun in the winter.
We don't see much of it where you are or where we are, so
we get enough rain.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, no, it's a nightmare.
Well, we wish you all the best, Brendan, and you've got some supporters in us. We'll be cheering you on.
Lovely. Come here. Thanks very much for having me on, guys.
All the best, Brendan.
See you later.
Thanks, Brendan.
This